What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about my top 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. Spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. So I had to do a top 11 because there's 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. So it makes sense here. And if you know the channel, you know what my number one season is going to be because it hasn't changed. But it's tough to really rank 11, 10, or 9. But number 11, to me, could be either one of two seasons. It's either season 7 or season 8, and it's season 7 for a variety of reasons. But the big thing is that the demeanor changes of the show because of this guy, Negan. He changes the dynamic in a bad way. Negan is the guy that changes the show for Daryl, for Rick, for Glenn, for Maggie, for everybody, Abraham, for everybody. So many characters are changed for the worse. And there's not really that many good episodes. There's like 2. That's why I had to go with number 11 is season 7. So number 10 could have been season 7, but I'm going with season 8. Because how does Rick not hit Negan in the very first episode? And then the biggest thing for a lot of people is Carl's death. People can't get over that. They can't get over Glenn, Abraham, and Carl. Also, the fact that Negan survives at the end of the season, and then the whole thing with Jesus and Maggie, are they going to go against Rick and this? But it just doesn't make sense. Again, number 9 is a shorter season, but not the shortest season. It's season 2. So to me, season 2 is just not much happening. It's basically the Sophia, finding Sophia, looking for Sophia, can't find Sophia, and then we finally find her, and then it gets good. But it's only like half a season that's kind of good. It's still a good season compared to season 7, season 8, in my opinion. But it's just short, and the never-ending shotgun blast by Herschel is hilarious. But season 2 is, it could have been better. Now, number 8 is kind of a tough one. It's a season that's extended. It is season 10. So if it was just 1 through 16, it probably would be lower. But the fact that the Whisperer stuff kind of ends the way it does, we lose Michonne in the series in season 10, is kind of a hit for me because Michonne's my favorite character. And it's tough to really rank these, It's kind of tough. 8, 9, what is it? Also, the extra episodes were just a waste of time for a lot of people, even though it was like 2 good episodes were good. Here's Negan is a good episode, but the one with Carol and the rat is pretty terrible. It's probably the worst episode of the series. Now, number 7 is sad to say it, but it's the final season of The Walking Dead. It could have been better. It was decent, don't get me wrong. That's why it's number 7. It could have been higher. But the fact that the Reapers were filler, the pacing of the season is just bad. The first 16 episodes are pretty good. The Commonwealth stuff feels rushed at the end. And then they're like, oh, we got to end it. Boop, there we go, guys. That's the series. Da, da, da. Now, we did get Rick and Michonne in the final episode, so that's why it's 7 and not 8 or 9. But the pacing, and it just wasn't right, in my opinion. Now, number 6 is definitely a good season. We're getting right about the halfway mark, and it's the Rick Grimes final season, season 9. So that's really the only thing I care about this season so much, is that Rick is still around. And yeah, we get a time jump in older Judith and Magnus group, and a lot of stuff happens. The Whisperers come around. But to me, it's just Rick not being seen again to the final episode of The Walking Dead. We were waiting and kind of still waiting to get, more Rick story, but we'll get it sooner rather than later. Number 5 is the shortest season, season 1. Now, it's a good season. Now, it's just 6 episodes is why I put it about the halfway mark, because it's really good. It's probably one of the best seasons. If it could have been a little bit longer, maybe, the CDC stuff, they stayed there a little bit longer and there was more story about that and they filled in the gaps here. But it was still a really good season. I enjoy it. This Dale face is born from that. And the pilot episode is probably one of my favorite episodes. Like, I could just watch that. I could watch that episode and a handful of episodes, but I definitely say the pilot is one of the best. Now, number 4, really 4 and 3 are revolving around the prison. So is it 3? Is it 4? Is it this? But season 3 is the start of the prison arc. Well, I guess the end of season 2, but season 3 is all about the prison. And it's a great development story of The Walking Dead. The governor really becomes the true villain. I mean, I guess Shane was the first villain, but the governor is probably one of the worst villains on the show. We lose Merle, and that whole story arc with Merle and Michonne and Daryl and everything there too is interesting. Morgan comes back, which is cool. He goes cray Morgan, and he's like in and out in there too, but it was the start of that. And the way it ends with Andrea being killed off, I was fine with, because Andrea was annoying, and the story that they gave her was not doing the character any favors. Now, number 3 is the other half of the prison story arc, is season 4. So again, season 3, season 4, you could flip them either way, but I love the prison story arc. It's just a good story because you're like, oh, they're safe now. This is the first time they were somewhere safe. I mean, the farm, Herschel's farm really was, but the prison was like, man, imagine this place. You got land, you got safety, you got fencing, you got security, you're good. And then the governor comes back and ruins it. And, that was his whole angle. And then they wrapped that up, which was good. The whole thing with Herschel is sad. It was very impactful. That's what they're supposed to be. And also the stuff with Look at the Flowers. It's just, there's a lot of good stuff going on in season 4. That's why I have it in number 3. The whole Claimer stuff, the whole setting up Terminus, and then at the very end of the season, they get to Terminus to really set up that stuff there, and it's short-lived, but the build-up was really good in season 4. Now, number 2 is a really great season, and I think the peak of The Walking Dead is seasons 4, 5, and 6. Well, a little bit of 3, but season 5. There's so many great moments of season 5. The sad part is that Terminus is so short-lived, but they did a really good job with so many episodes in season 5. There's so many great moments. Terminus, Father Gabriel coming around, the termites, Grady Memorial Cops, Alexandria. Like, man, just so many good episodes and so many good moments in season 5 alone. Where you're like, well, I guess not good moments, impactful moments, like Beth's death is terrible. And, it was just tough to see them. So they start here, they start there, they move a lot. There's a lot of movement in season 5, and then they get to Alexandria, which was a game changer. And if the story ends in season 6 of The Walking Dead, it's probably one of the best shows ever made. But it doesn't. It continues on for 5 more seasons. But again, just look at these photos. I mean, Deanna, who's Deanna? Morgan comes back around full time. The stuff with Alexandria and Rick. And it's just awesome. Season 5, from start to finish, is definitely up there as one of the best. But for me, it's not the best. My number 1 season of The Walking Dead, since watching it, is the only season 6. Now, there are some slower episodes with it, especially the Morgan episode. But other than that, we have some great moments. This made a lot of people love Carol right here. When she was a wolf, when Rick was running back, with the wolves coming there, there's a lot of stuff happening. And then building up the huge moment of the Saviors. And they're building it up, and even though it changes the show for the worse, in my opinion, in season 7, Daryl with the rocket launcher, the wolves, episode 609 is the best episode of the series, so you got to put it up there for sure. Jesus coming around, he's probably my favorite comic character. Just so many big things and moments until Negan shows up. Hilltop, it was just great. The Whitey Boy being terrible. It was just so many cool things. Well, looking at these photos, like, what Eugene's about to do here, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. Remember that? And again, the build up for Negan, and even 616 is a good episode. But the fact that he kills 2 people and 2 beloved characters, nonetheless, really hurts the show. But even though season 7, episode 1 is one of the best episodes in the series, in my opinion, the rest of the episodes of that season really fall flat. But there you go, guys. That's my top 11 rankings of the 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please let me know your thoughts. Post your top 11 seasons in the comments. I want to know what you got and where you rank them. I know some people love season 7 and season 8, but to me, it really hurt the show. But there you go, guys. I'm going to be posting more of these top 11 lists because I just like the idea of 11 seasons, 11 stuff of the Walking Dead universe. But yeah, more stuff is coming. 2023 should be a big year for the Walking Dead universe. Like I said, guys, I want to know your top 11 list. Please post your comments below. Thank you guys either way. Stay safe and tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly. want to say thank you.